Chris Fagan sitting here just thinking to himself, do not drag me into this conversation. You want to be dragged into this conversation?
Not really.
No, but what you know of Josh Shackey, he's a decent young fellow, but were you not that unhappy to let him go?
In the end, he was that hell-bent on wanting to get home that there was no point in trying to keep him at Brisbane. And I think if to be a part of a club and a positive member of the footy club, you've got to want to be there in the first place. So really, you know, after some discussions with Josh, it was really clear that he wanted to come back home and be close to his family. And we said to him, well, as long as the trade can be organised, that we were satisfied with, that we would let him go. You know, he's a young key forward. A lot was expected of him when he first arrived at Brisbane, probably too much. You know, he's an 18. I wasn't there when he first arrived, but as an 18-year-old, it's pretty hard to play as a key forward these days, the way teams defend. So there's a lot of hope around him, and probably too much for a bloke of his age. He just needs time to develop.
All right, good on you, Damo. Thanks very much, mate. And we'll see you again on Thursday night, and of course through the week on just about every platform of media. Thanks, TJ. Thank you, Damien Barrett there. All right, Chris Fagan does join us. Let's take a look at the match yesterday. And I know coaches hate the word honourable loss, but as honourable losses go, this would have to rank right up there, wouldn't it?
It was just that, TJ. And if it wasn't for the third quarter where Port Adelaide kicked 7 goals to 1 and dominated the disposal, they were plus 53 Port Adelaide. Brisbane would have easily won this game. They had their chances laid on the back of a dominant performance from Stephen Martin, who we've spoken about. These are the game highlights, Chris. You win contested ball, you win clearance, and you win tackle. No doubt a performance that you're proud of.
Yeah, and we thought, you know, if we could win all those three factors, we'd have a good chance to win the game, which proved to be the case. But you know, in that third quarter, we started well and had a couple of chances to actually kick 2 or 3 goals just after half time. Didn't take them, and then Port got on a bit of a roll. We struggled to stop it. That was the period in the game where they actually got on top in contested ball. We fumbled a bit and coughed it up, and they're a good team and they made us pay. But I was really proud of the way that the boys fought back, because easily in those games they can steamroll you, and we found a way to get back into the game and, you know, nearly pinched it at the end.
Well, you've been really competitive, and that's probably the wrong term. You've been more than that in the first 3 rounds. At some point, this young group's going to have to learn how to win. How do you address that tomorrow when you go through the tape, and what could have been done differently?
Yeah, look, I said to our players after the game, though, in terms of effort, that was a benchmark performance, but that's what you've got to produce each week. But we as a team have to be a bit smarter with the way we do things. We sort of created opportunities yesterday for Port that, with a bit more thinking through the game, we wouldn't have, and that's just a young team for you. So we'll look at the good things, and we'll look at those little growth areas that can make us a better team. And that's what we've been doing for the last 12 months, just chipping away at that sort of stuff.
Just another Charlie Cameron, the recruit there. He's been a star. Could be one of the recruits of the year. Just kicking goals, but just you know, I think just so dynamic, isn't he? He's pretty fit and can cover the ground.
Yeah, he is. He loves living up in Brisbane. He's got plenty of friends and relatives up there. He probably struggled a little bit in our practice games just to learn the way we were playing. He's cottoned onto that. He's a really dangerous forward, both on the lead and at drop of the ball. And you know, the Gabba crowd last week when we played the D's, some of the things he did, they really embraced him and they got very excited. So it's great to have him at the club.
When it was announced that Luke Hodge wasn't going to be a Hawthorn player next year, how long was it until the light bulb came on? You said he's going to be a Brisbane player next year.
They would have spoken before it, Nathan.
Oh, no, look, I've told this story before and it's the truth. You know, when Hodgie played his 300th, I think I sent him a text to say, well done, you know, and I said, if you get to the end of the year and the Hawks don't want you and you want to keep playing, we need a playing coach on the oval if you're interested. And nothing really happened about that again until the end of the year, and I rang him at the end of the season just to see how he was feeling about it, and he was pretty interested. And I think he just sees this as another part of his own development. He's been great for our group. You know, Hawks were great around releasing him because obviously he's a champion. He's going to be a Hall of Famer at the Hawks, and but Clarko and the club are really understanding what Hodgie wanted to do in the next phase. His young family enjoying it up there, and our young players are receiving the benefits of his experiences. He's a Norm Smith medalist. Is it true that you've put on another Norm Smith medalist in one of your staff? Ooh. Jimmy Bartell? Jimmy Bartell, that is good. That is true.
Oh, Lloydie, yeah.
You've got some good exclusive. He's doing some work in our recruiting list management areas, albeit part-time, but he's got obviously got an interest in that part of the game, and yeah, he's on board with us, so it's good.
Yeah, we should have a watermark.
Should have had one of those watermarks across there.
You wouldn't be able to see Chris.
Yeah.
Hey, you're pretty relaxed yesterday, laid back, I reckon. You didn't have to do this as you did last week. bang!
Bang!
And then, oh, gee.
The worst part about that wasn't the bang, it was that bit that everyone saw afterwards. You forget the cameras are on around, don't you? That you're just sitting there, you're watching the game. And anyway, I get a bit passionate every now and then.
When did you get the plaster off?
I just took it off before I walked in. I'm going to put it back on when I walk out.
Hey, just very, very quickly before we get to the votes, Alistair Clarkson had a bit to say about the umpires needing to crack down on ducking, which has caused a little bit of controversy, a little bit of chatter between the coaches. Where do you sit on that?
Oh, I actually haven't, to be honest with you, I haven't read the comments. Was it between he and
Chris Scott?
Yeah, but his one essentially is
yeah.
crack down.
Oh, look, I think it's a hard part of the game for the umpires to umpire. Sometimes players are pretty good at faking it. Sometimes it's genuinely a free kick, and I think it's tough for the umpires. I think they do a pretty good job with it by and large. So I fundamentally bought out of that one.
Ever thought about politics? Have you? But anyway, let's take a look at the votes.
Let's do that. Stephen
Speaking of
Martin
politics.
was the dominant player on the ground. I gave him 9. He's just outstanding with his 30 disposals. We've spoken about him. Sam Gray was Port Adelaide's best. Pollock was good on the wing, and Dane Zorko back to his better footy, although I still think there's some room for improvement for Dane.
All right, terrific. Thanks for coming in, Chris.
Thanks, pleasure to be here.
Thank you. We'll take a break on the Sunday Footy Show. So about the ducking. So what he's saying is about the...